Kim, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing well. How are you?
How was your date yesterday?
She had a class squeeze.
I did.
A class.
Sure she did.
You know what her class is on?
I'm sure
It was training for the show. It's called improv, right?
That's exactly right.
I know what you're
yes.
right. She goes and does an improv class.
That place?
Yes, at that place. Okay, I can tell you how to do improv, right? There's 2 rules. Okay,
20 years
Never
of
say
practice,
no.
Misha?
Never say no in improv,
True.
and then let the person talk after. Right?
True.
Right?
True. But completely
Both true.
As a matter of fact, my biggest note yesterday from my professor was, Kim, stop. You're steamrolling this poor man.
All right, let's get to immigration questions. What do you got?
Okay, we've got Andre who wants to ask, I sent a copy of my son's notarized translated birth certificate and passport in January of 2017 as NVC asked for those documents in order to proceed with the update. However, I haven't received anything and neither has my sister as the petitioner. Is that okay?
Who filed for who?
It seems the sister is filing for her brother and his son.
The sister is filing for the brother and his son. And when did they file this?
They filed in January of 2017.
And they want to know. And they want to know what?
They want to know. Well, I don't know when they filed. Actually, it says that NVC had requested more evidence, and so they sent the birth certificate and the passport.
And
the son.
And what's the problem?
January. They haven't heard anything back since they sent that.
I don't know. Did they do it right, Kim? How would I know that? Maybe they did
That's
it
the
wrong.
question.
Maybe they did it right. I don't know what their priority date is. Maybe they did everything perfect, but since there was a brother filing for a brother, a sister, a sibling filing for a sibling, maybe their priority date's not reached yet. Maybe they didn't properly do what was required of them. The only way that I can tell is for them to make an appointment, bring in what they did, and then I will tell them if they did everything right, then they should hear back. If they didn't do everything right, they're never going to hear back. Or they're going to hear back with, sorry, or whatever it may be.
All right, let me jump to one here. Beckham Brown said, I submitted my adjustment of status to USCIS a week ago. Will they text, email me first how long it will take to get a notice?
Slow down. What do you do with a yellow light squeeze? Do you speed up and go through the light, or do you slow down?
It all depends on which country you're from. Because in Jamaica...
You just went way too fast.
In Jamaica, I will woof.
All right, so in Jamaica, the yellow light, you speed up.
No.
Okay,
I'm just telling you what I do.
We need a yellow light here for when Squeeze starts reading these questions off. Slow down.
You know one thing I learned?
What?
They said it's supposed to be rapid fire.
Aha.
Okay? Now, if you want me to be slow, I'll be slow. I submitted my
that's not what we want either, Squeeze. It's not what we want.
It's
a delicate balance.
It's a delicate balance.
Hold on, let me imitate someone.
All right.
I just make it look easy.
I submitted my adjustment.
Okay, so I can't see. It's because I can't see.
USCIS a week ago.
I can't see.
Will they text, email me first? How long will it take to get a notice from them that they've received my file?
About 2 to 3.
I also submitted my medical.
About 2 to 3 weeks.
Should I have waited until I'm close to the interview date to do it because of the backlog?
No, you submit everything all at once, Squeeze. You should know this.
All right.
And 1 second.
I don't answer questions.
Okay. So you submit everything all at once, and it should take you about 2 to 3 weeks to get your notice. Kimberly, we'll go back and forth.
Sweet Kimmy asks, my friend got married and got her 2-year green card, but now she needs to send in for the 10-year, but all she has is one tax paper. Nothing filed jointly with the husband. Is she going to have a problem?
Yes, she will. She doesn't have proof that she shares a financial relationship with her husband. She should give us a call.
Jennifer Stewart wants to know, I'm filing for my paper, but my husband did not work 2017. So how do they file my tax with him? Kim from Massachusetts.
You still file a joint tax return and your husband didn't earn an income.
Okay.
You are both, when you file a joint tax return, what you're telling the government is, I am married, I live with this man or woman, and we are jointly responsible for the debts of our marriage. We are taking financial responsibility together. That's a joint tax return, whether you earned money or not.
Thank you so much for that. 1-800-529-5465. Kim?
Shantoya would like to know, I'm living in Florida and I'm dating my boyfriend for over a year. He's unfortunately going to prison to serve a 2-year sentence for stealing money from his job. He wants to marry me while he's in prison and go ahead and start filing for me. Is he
Right.
going to be able to do that while he's still in prison?
Yeah, but when you get an interview, he's going to be in prison, and you're going to be out of prison, and that's one issue. Okay, and so depending on what jurisdiction you are and what immigration officer you see, they may decide to deny you and put you in deportation. The other issue is depending on where he is in prison. If you want to marry him in prison, or they're already married.
They would like to get married while he's in prison.
Okay.
They're not married.
All right, so then you have to organize a marriage while he's in prison. Now, generally speaking, okay, then now this is just my own, from my own history of dealing with prisons as a lawyer, and just general knowledge of prison people who run prisons, the wardens and stuff. They usually don't like immigrants. So my guess is that when we go to arrange a marriage, especially when you are in a jurisdiction that is not a sanctuary city, that, the warden, with the big gallon hat, and he has the toothpick coming out of his mouth. Well,
Is that a real thing?
is that the real thing? Yes. He's got the gallon hat and a toothpick coming out of his mouth. He goes, let's call immigration on this person,
Can we get to the next question?
Yeah,
It's
so
called
I don't know if that's the best idea in the world, but certainly it's an idea worth talking about. We got to know more.
Can a U.S. citizen sponsor her grandmother for a green card as a nanny of her kids? Kids are all under 13, and if yes, how long would it take?
No, but you can't sponsor a relative as in a job, because one of the things you have to do is prove that you're opening the job to an American citizen. So who's going to hire an American citizen over grandma? Nobody. No one's going to go interview people and say, hey, this lady Mary, she's a great nanny. Sorry, grandma, you're unemployed.
Get the
It's
point,
not
Brad.
not gonna happen.
Got the point. 1-800-529-5465. Kimmy.
What's your problem?
Yes,
I don't have a problem. Let's get through the questions.
We're getting through the questions. I'm explaining it,
No,
Squeeze.
you're.
What's your problem? Just let me finish.
You're not even.
No, let me finish doing my job.
You're
Continue,
answering a
Kim.
question, then
Continue,
you're
Kim.
joking about it.
Don't stop it already now.
Stop. I'm not your dog.
Stop it. No, because you're.
Don't tell me to stop it already.
No, because you've been harassing me this
no,
entire
that's what you
show.
said to
So
the dogs
stop
at the end of the show.
Stop it.
No.
Go, Kim.
Kimmy,
Yes.
you trying to be a ref here? No.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm Switzerland all
I'm
the way.
just trying to
Squeeze.
get to the question because I'm looking at all the questions.
Yes,
That's the complaint
Savage
I get
wants-
every day.
That's fair.
All right.
Yes, Savage wants to know, what are the sanctuary cities?
A lot of them. Chicago,
There's a-
San Francisco, New York. I don't have the whole list in my head.
Yeah, and there are sanctuary states
And God
too.
forbid,
Is that right?
and God forbid, I would announce them all. Squeeze would be like, let's go to the next question.
Let's go to the next question. My friend married and get to a 2-year green card, but now she need to send in for the 10-year. All she have is one tax paper only, nothing else. Joint with the husband.
Say it again.
My friend married and got the 2-year. This thing scrolled off the screen. I can't see that no more. See, it's gone. Maybe Kim can find it.
Kim?
That's what happened. That's what's happening. Trying to get to the question before they scroll off.
Christopher asked, I've been married 8 months now and want to file, but I have a DUI and reckless driving. What do you think my chances are?
Reckless driving and a DUI in the last 5 years, you got a problem.
I'm living in Florida. I'm dating my boyfriend for over a year. He's gonna go in prison to serve a. You did that one already? I think you did that one already, right?
We did.
Yeah. When you go to renew your green card, you get another year from the expiry date on a piece of paper. How long you got to wait for the 10 years when you already did the biometric?
How long you have to wait for the 10 years after you've done the biometric?
Yeah.
You're going to wait. You saw on an I-751, you're going to wait about a year and a half.
Tashana wants to know, if you're married in October of 2016, how much longer are you going to be going? Do you have to wait for your interview for your green card?
In October 2016, you filed. You're going to
Yeah.
wait. You're going to be 9 months. So count 9 months from October.
Friend's green card
Of
taken
2016.
Okay. Friend's green card taken away upon entry. Claims an old drug charge. He did probation for 12 years prior. Got bumped up to a federal charge. Since that, he got the charge expunged. What can he do?
He still has a problem because he was convicted at one point of sale of drugs. Kim, do we have her? Is she hello again?
Hello.
All right, what's happening?
Okay, we have tons of social media questions.
Tons of social media questions. Are you ready?
I am ready. Are
All right.
you? Yeah. Have you stretched out? Did you eat your Wheaties?
Yes,
We're going
let's go.
through these.
Let's go. All right.
Moya K asks, I'm married in Jamaica, but me and my husband need a visiting visa. What are our chances of getting it?
You're married in Jamaica and you need a visitor's visa. You got to show that you have a lot of ties back home. So being married does not really give you a lot of leeway in terms of going to the embassy with your husband because you're both getting visas. You're not leaving anyone behind. Who are you leaving behind? Children, family, good jobs, good property. You got to have, what is that magnet that's bringing you back home? That's what you got to show.
Nevia wants to know if you're married to a permanent resident and a green card holder. That's the same thing. How long does it take to get your papers?
If you're married to a permanent resident and a green card holder, about a year. It's the same thing. It's a year
Right.
and a half to 2 years.
Nadia asks, I filed the I-130 for my stepkids, but did not receive their passports back yet. Do I need it to file their paperwork?
The passports? No. They need passports to go for the interview.
Power
You always
Gigi
shake your head
asks,
like, are you saying yes, I agree with you, or yes, we're done, we're going to the next one? What
it's
does this
actually
mean?
both.
What?
I wholeheartedly agree with
Okay,
you,
fine.
and I'm glad that you gave them those steps.
Uh-huh.
And also, next question.
Okay, fine. I didn't know what that meant.
It's
Okay,
two
that means everything. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
It's a
okay,
catch-all.
Okay.
Power Gigi wants to know, I'm from the Philippines, but I'm legally adopted by 2 American citizens. I'm using their family name. I'm now married and I'm 41 years old. Is there any chance that I can still get my citizenship?
Yeah, you got legally adopt. What does your legal adoption have to do with anything? You got married to a citizen? What's her status right now?
That's what we don't know. We
Where
don't
is
know
she?
her.
Is she in America?
Yes, I believe
Okay,
so.
so
because
she's in America. She got legally adopted by someone. Maybe she never got her green card, but she's married to an American citizen. The American citizen can certainly file for her green card no matter how she actually entered in America. If she already has a green card, then I don't know why she would be asking that question. So I assume she got adopted by someone, but they never actually did any green card application for her. She would like to now get her green card through marriage, and why not?
See how inclusive that head nod is?
Yes, I
yeah,
see.
that's
Yes.
right. She should do that.
Right.
Good info, Brad.
It's good info, and I like that you agree with everything I say.
Well, let me tell you right now.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a lot of opinions on a
Yes.
lot of things.
Okay.
Immigration law, I have no
opinions on.
I
Okay.
defer to you completely.
All right, let's continue.
Stacy asks, my friend would like to know if she could get approved for a visitor's visa if her, even though her mom petitioned an I-130 for her in 2015.
Can she get approved for a visa?
For
No,
a
because
visa.
you've already shown, I mean, anything is possible. I don't want to say never, but the fact that somebody filed for your green card is a lot of evidence that you plan on immigrating to America. Okay, that's a lot of evidence that I'm going to immigrate to America. So,
Right, I'm here to stay.
So I'm here to stay, exactly. So when you get a visitor's visa, they're going to think that you are going to stay. Now, it's possible that somebody filed a visa petition for you, and in your head you have a non-immigrant intent. I'm really going to visit. I'm going home. But that is a huge hurdle to overcome.
Lorna wants to know if I'm married to my son's father, how long is it going to take how long does it take to come through I'm a citizen?
You're married to your son's father. How long will it take to come through if you're married to a citizen? Where are you in this world? Are you adjusting your status here, or are you in another country? If you're adjusting your status here, what state are you living in? If you're in another country, where do you live? What country are you in? What other issues do you have? Do you have any criminal records? Did you ever apply for a green card before? I mean, there's a lot goes into this. But I'll give you the general gist. 9 months for an adjustment here, a year and change outside of the country.
Everton asks, when you get a 2-year green card, why do you have to go back for a second interview for your 10-year?
Because in 1986, when they did the amnesty laws, they also passed marriage fraud laws. And the marriage fraud laws of 1986, the year, I don't want to age myself, but that was the year I graduated high school.
I'm not gonna.
You were not even born yet, right?
Yeah, and I wasn't born, and I'm terrible at math.
That's
so
right.
I won't
Okay, fine. You won't even get right. So in 1986, Ronald Reagan, as part of like a great compromise to do the amnesty, they wanted to get a little tougher on immigration, kind of similar to what you hear today with give DACA and build a wall. But back then it was, let's get tougher on immigration in one aspect and let's give amnesty in another aspect. And one of the things that they got tougher on was this marriage fraud. And basically, they wanted 2 chances now to interview people to make sure that they were getting married truly for love, not for to evade immigration laws. So now the reason that you get a 2-year card and then a permanent card is simply because the government wants 2 opportunities to interview you so you can prove to them that it's a real marriage.
You and I were just having this conversation today about how confrontational and adversarial
it is.
immigration is. And that is totally one of those things.
It is. And it's not supposed to be, but it is.
Right, yeah.
Right, and you pay for and by the way, you pay for that privilege, okay, for this confrontation. You're paying them filing fees, and obviously you're paying lawyers to help you. So you're paying for this privilege of fighting with them, but that's what it is. It's not really a privilege, but I'm making a joke about it. But that's what
right. But that's what. But you have to get to that point.
Correct.
So.
Right.
Tamika is asking, what age should a child be at the time of marriage between a U.S. resident/citizen step-parent and the child's biological parent in order to be considered a child of marriage and hence eligible for filing by the step-parent?
All right. So that was a convoluted way of saying, when can my step-parent file for me? And the answer is the marriage has to occur before your 18th birthday. And if you want to be able to get a green card relatively quick and adjust your status, the step-parent has to file for you before you're 21. So there's 2 different ages. The marriage between your biological parent and the step-parent before 18, and the step-parent should be filing for you before 21. That makes you an immediate relative.
Lorna asks, how long does it take for my daughter to come to America? I filed for her. She's over 21, and I'm a U.S. citizen living here in the U.S.
7 to 8 years. That's the waiting list right now. So if we go, I'm going to pull it up here on my computer a second. If we go, they always talk about, Kim, and I'm looking down because I'm just pulling up the visa bulletin because it's not on my computer right here. But they always talk about chain migration. Chain migration is a myth because it takes so long to be reunited with your family. Right. So for example, if this computer ever works, it's not working. Trust me, it's 7 years. I was going to look up the exact. Oh, here it is. I'm pressing the wrong button. There we go. I learned to use a computer. Those people who started their cases March 15th, 2011, who are U.S. citizens filing for their children over 21, their adult children. This is a U.S. citizen. This is not some, the way Trump makes it, it's like, oh, you ran across the border and then now there's this chain and everyone's coming in. These are U.S. citizens filing for their children, not some far off relative. They're waiting 7 years to be reunited with their children. If you are Mexican, people who are Mexican who are now U.S. citizens are waiting 22 years to be reunited with their children. So the myth of chain migration is truly a myth. Kim? Hello again.
Yes.
Hello again. What's up?
So our first question is from Trey Breezy, and he's asking, it's a two-parter. What's the next step after you receive your I-797C receipt? And what do you mean by intent to immigrate?
What is the I-797 receipt? Is a receipt for anything you filed with immigration. So I'm not sure what was filed with immigration. Intent to immigrate means I want to get a green card. You have an intention in your head, by something you have said or something that you have done, which is file for your green card, that you want to get a green card. If you don't have an immigrant intent wanting to get a green card, the other term is I have a non-immigrant intent. A non-immigrant intent is some sort of intent to come on a temporary basis and return home. So non-immigrant intent means I'm here temporarily and going home. Immigrant intent means I'm here and I ain't leaving. Okay? That's what that means.
Candy wants to know my 10-year visitor's visa has been Is there such a thing as a 10-year visitor's visa?
There is.
Okay.
But now let me explain something. I'm going to teach you something, Kim.
Yeah.
A visa allows you to cross a border. So she has a visa for 10 years that allows her for the next decade to cross the border without having to renew a visa. When you cross the border, whether you come into an airport or you cross the border from Canada or wherever it is, you walk off a cruise ship, whatever it is, the government tells you how long you can stay. So even though people think they have a 10-year visa, that doesn't mean every time you come to America, you can stay for 10 full years. You can only stay for a certain amount of months that they tell you, generally 6 months, and then you got to go home or change your status to something else. So yes, there is a 10-year visa, but there's no such thing as 10-year status in visitor's visa status. All right, let's continue.
Anne wants to...
Candy.
Oh, so I didn't even finish poor Candy's question.
I got it. I'm listening.
My 10-year visitor's visa has been expired for over a year. I'm afraid to go in because I usually stayed 5 to 6 months at a time during the 10 years that I had my visa. Am I going to be denied as a result?
It's very possible that they're going to say you're using your visitor's visa to live in America. It's very I would be scared too. Maybe you want to have a consultation with us first before you do anything.
Anne wants to know, I put in my I-130 for my husband last June. Is there anything you can do to speed it up?
If you did it right, no. If you did it wrong, yes. I don't know whether you did it right or wrong.
King asks, can a U.S. citizen sponsor his grandmother for a green card as a nanny of the kids?
We answered that, no.
I thought so too. He's asked a couple of times.
Yeah, no.
Crawford wants to know, my husband has an interview in Kingston. Should I go ahead and send him my W-2 and my passport from the U.S.?
What is the interview for? And I wouldn't be sending your passport through the mail.
I was going to say, passport seems excessive.
Yeah, so is it an interview for a green card? And if it's an interview for a green card, I think what you should do is have a consultation with us. So your husband, if you're asking that question and your husband's going in for a green card interview, that means you're going down the wrong path. You're going down instead of going up. Okay, so that means you need a consultation.
Red flag already.
Yeah.
Charles says, asking for a friend. K1 and K2 adjusted their status together and received the green card at the same time. Now they're removing conditions. Do I have to pay for the removal of conditions for my son and submit an extra application?
No, because they got it at the same time. It's one application. You put your son on it.
Poochie asks, my mom is a green card holder. I know. Yeah. And it's actually Poochie. First name Poochie, last name Poochie. My mom is a green card holder. July will mark 5 years, but she's never worked in America because of her illness. Is this going to cause a problem filing for her children who are all over 21?
No, she's just going to need an affidavit of support from somebody else because she doesn't work.
Buff Love wants to know, my daughter... Buff Love. Mm-hmm. It sounds like an 80s hair band song.
Yes. Maybe.
Or band.
Maybe.
Just a band.
Maybe.
Buff. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Buff Love.
I don't know. Let's go. Buff Love. I don't know. Let's go.
My daughter's father is currently in an ICE detention center, and he wants to file for a U visa. Is it possible to get a bond?
Why? I don't know why he's there. I mean, if you're in the ICE detention center and you're detained, they want to deport you. Why are you there? Maybe if you have 2 crimes of moral turpitude, you can't get bonded. If you have an aggravated felony after May 15th, 1998, you can't get bonded. Why are you there? Why? There's a reason they're holding you. If you're just out of status, whether you're eligible for a U visa or not, you should be eligible to get bond, at least until they deport you. Immigration's not a, people think the funniest thing with immigration is people think it's criminal. There's nothing criminal about being here out of status. Okay? And they use the word illegal and they detain people and put them in jail. So people have this idea that you've done something criminally wrong. The idea behind immigration detention is just so that if you are going to be deported, and you can be deported, imminently, they don't want to have to chase you all over America looking for you. So, and you're not leaving on your own, they'll hold you. But they can't hold you indefinitely forever. But that's a whole other story for a whole other day. She needs to have a consultation with me so I can figure out their life.
Absolutely. Cow would like to know, I applied for my mom and sister, but they are treating it as two separate applications. Why?
Because you filed for your mom and your sister. They're two different people. And when you file for your mom, there is no I know the answer. I was being actually facetious, but they are two different people. So, but your mom's an immediate relative, so you don't get to include your sisters on the application because your mom goes to the front of the line. That's why. Thus again, no chain migration.
Oka asks, I was deported and have been refused a visa after a 3-year jail sentence. I then came back, and I've been back since 1998. How can you assist me in visiting the USA again? So I'm assuming when they say that they've been back, they
okay. I thought they said that they came. I thought they came back here, and I'm like, did you just admit to a crime to thousands of people on Facebook right now? Because you don't want to do that. I don't know. It depends. I mean, he was deported for some sort of criminal activity. We got to look at the criminal activity. We got to look at the purpose of him coming back. What family does he have to file for him? Why is he coming back? Is he eligible for some sort of non-immigrant visa and a waiver? Is he eligible for an immigrant visa and a waiver? I don't know. We would need to find that stuff out. Let's go to Belgium, Kim, and let's finish up the show. Hello.
Hello.
All right. Let me just and Jill, if you tell Fiona the other people on hold, unfortunately, hopefully we'll be able to speak with them tomorrow, or they can make appointments to come speak to me whenever they want. And obviously, the telephone number is 1-800-529-5465. We're going to finish up our show here, finishing up with social media questions. Kim.
Anne wants to know, she filed for her husband last June, but does she need to put his name on her W-2 form this year?
On your
So basically,
you don't put your husband's name on a 1040. Yes.
Does she file her taxes?
If you've been married, if you are married in 2017, you should file a joint tax return with your husband. Correct. Except if your husband's in another country, you can't do that. So, but if your husband's here, yes.
Crawford wants to know, my husband has an interview in 2 weeks. Should I give him should I resend him the affidavit of support, or are they already going to have all of the paperwork at the embassy?
They should have it all there, but send a copy just in case.
Millicent says, my friend got approved last year. When is the interview, and
approved for what?
And what are his chances?
Approved for what? We don't know.
I-130.
Who's sponsored? We don't know. Okay, let's continue.
Millicent says, my brother has 5 arrests for marijuana. All have been dismissed. Can his wife file for him without a problem? He came on someone else's paper.
Well, no, he has a problem still because he has 5 arrests. So he has a good moral character issue. Also, if any of the arrests were for attempted sale or sale, he could be denied for being a prior drug trafficker, even though he was never convicted of anything. He also committed fraud by coming on somebody else's visa. He's got lots of issues. He needs a lawyer.
Yes. Nadine says, I am in Jamaica. My partner is a citizen, but I'm coming to the U.S. very soon. What's the best thing to do as it relates to staying with him in the States?
What do you mean by partner?
Are we married? Are we engaged?
Right. What's going on? I mean, is it your business partner? I mean, listen, it is what it is. Let's be frank. My guy I'm in love with, the lady I'm in love with, whatever it is. If you're coming to visit, you can visit and 90 days change your mind and then apply for your green card. But if you're coming to visit with the intent of getting a green card, you're going to have a problem. She needs a consultation before she does anything.
Nicole actually, and I think there is a question in here somewhere, and I think you're going to be able to decipher it. Says, some people actually have to do 2 biometrics. First, I got a letter to come do my adjustment of status, and then I got another one about 2 or 3 weeks later to come in and do my biometrics again for a work permit. It seems really confusing, and it seems like everyone I've talked to has had a different experience. What is the standard?
You should be able to do 1 biometric. It should cover everything. So immigration screws up sometimes. Sometimes you screw up. I don't know because I didn't handle your case. But you should only have to do it 1 time. That's generally the standard. But with that said, if they keep telling you to come and do your biometric and you miss it, they're going to use that as the reason to deny you. So go do the biometric.
Ravine says, if you come to America on a green card but have a business in the country that you're from, is there any way that you could stay out of America for more than 6 months at a time?
Yeah, it's called a re-entry permit. We can help.
Fun fact, Spar Bernstein helped my mom get a re-entry permit very recently.
Very good.
They did it very well. She got
fact.
it quickly, you guys.
Fun fact. Just a little fun fact.
Just a little. I like to throw.
Right.
I like to pepper in
thus,
trivia.
where do you think your mom is if we call you Belgium, Kim? Belgium. Right? All right. What else?
Sweet Kimmy says, which I think I'm going to start going by.
Sweet
by
Kimmy.
The way.
Okay.
Just,
we can change your name.
Just prep yourself.
We can change
Belgium
your name.
Sweet Kimmy.
Yeah, we can change your name.
Belgium
We can change your name.
Sweet Kimmy says, this guy came here under a girl's name. His parents died, and now he and an adult.
He came under a girl's name?
He did.
Okay.
I'm not sure how that's relevant, but he did it, Brad.
On somebody else's name.
Right.
And he did this as a child.
I believe so, because it talks about how his parents died, but now he's an adult, and they need proof somehow of his entrance in the U.S. He's now married to either a citizen or a resident, but immigration is giving him a hard time.
Yeah, because you don't have a legal entry. Okay, so I think we gotta. Did the parents ever? Who raised him? Did the parents get green cards ever? We got to find out more history about him so we can uncover to see if there's any evidence of a legal entry. Now, if we can uncover an illegal entry as a child, you have an entry, you made a legal entry, they can't hold it against you because you were a kid. Not your fault that somebody brought you here on somebody else's information, but we need to really have a long interview with this guy so we know where to look. Or girl, but I think it's a guy.
Guy, yes.
Guy, yeah, okay.
Who came here on a girl's name, but that doesn't matter.
Right.
Ken Well says,
do we have a lot of questions to go?
We do.
All right, let's try to go quickly as we can. We got about 5 minutes to go here. Get as much as we can.
Kenwell said, okay. Kenwell says, after they give you your 1 year, when your 2 year expires, and on that 1 year extension, it says that you can travel outside of the state. Is that possible, or should you just wait for your 10-year green card to come?
No, you're a lawful resident. You can travel. Take your old green card and the letter you got. Now, after that 1 year, you're going to need a stamp in your passport. But if you were in that first year, you just need the letter and the old green card. After the 1 year, you go down and get a stamp in your passport.
London says, my friend got married. Can he file for the work permit before the I-130?
No.
Nadine says, I'm engaged to a U.S. citizen. I'm coming to the U.S. soon. What can I do to stay in the States?
You have to come visit. If you've ever watched anything on this show, you
come
to visit.
More than 5 minutes.
Visit, and then 90 days later, if you choose to change your mind after visiting, and you change your mind and now have an immigrant intent after 90 days, then you can stay and get your green card. Maybe she needs a consultation. You can't come to the United States with the intent of getting a green card or the intent of getting married on a visitor's visa.
To immigrate. We were just talking about it. Carol says, my mother is a citizen and she filed for me in 2012. I'm married. How long is that going to take?
About another year. They're in 2011 right now.
Grace has a very unfortunate question. My sister died and left me with her 3 children in Africa. I didn't put them on the immigration paper, and now they are grown and over 20 years old. How can I get them here?
You never adopt, unless you adopted them, they're not your kids. Just because your sister left them to you doesn't mean there's an official adoption. You needed to adopt them before 16 or they're not your children. So if there was no adoption before 16, they're not your kids, and then we got to figure out another way. It's just, I know 3 people in Africa who want to come to America.
Mecca says, my niece is in the Navy. If she filed for my sister and her husband, how long would it take?
How could a niece
So really, if the person who is in the Navy can file for her mom and the mom's husband, how long would it take?
Is that the child?
Yes. So the child.
Yeah. If the mother's in another country about 13, 14 months, the husband had to have married the mother before the niece turned 18. And then you can file 2 separate applications.
Kamisha says, I applied for my 10-year in 2016 and I'm still waiting for a response. Can I apply for my citizenship while I'm still waiting? And if yes, what do I need?
You can file, if you're still waiting and it's 2 years, 9 months, and 3 days since the time you got your conditional green card, you can file for your citizenship. You need proof that you're in a bona fide marriage with your spouse. When you go on your citizenship interview, they're going to interview you on both applications, the I-751 and the citizenship. I generally like to tell people, although the law says you can do it, wait until you remove the conditions and then turn around and do your citizenship, but by all means, go for it.
Mayolin says, my daughter came here at the age of 17. She went to Jamaica, lost her passport, and now her green card runs out. How can I get her back in the U.S.? She's supposed to be a citizen, but she can't help herself to get back. She's mentally ill, but stable. She even got pregnant when she went to Jamaica and had the baby. How do we
know she's a citizen based on what?
The question that is written.
And so she just needs a passport. Help her get a passport. Go down to Jamaica, walk her into the U.S. Embassy, and get her a passport. Simple as that if she's a citizen.
Clarette says, my son filed for me last year. My affidavit wasn't enough, but was not enough and was denied. What do I need to do to get help now?
Get a second affidavit from somebody else. You need someone else to step in.
Justina says, my husband and I are both citizens, but he wants to file separately. Can he do that?
Yeah, it's just a regular tax issue.
Right. I'm
Just speak to
assuming
your
they mean their
tax
taxes,
person.
right?
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
Just speak to your taxes.
Daphne says, if my mom is married, can I file for her? I'm a citizen of the U.S. and she's in Jamaica.
If your mom's married, can you file for her? Yes, why not? Mm-hmm. You can file for her, but whether the husband's coming, it depends on when the mom married. So the mom will get a green card, and if the mom's marriage to the husband was before you're 18, then you can file a separate application. That would be your stepdad. If not, mom's going to come without the husband, and then mom can turn around and file for the husband after she gets here.
Emily says, my son is 29. Can I file for him? That's the whole question.
Yes. Assuming you're a resident or a citizen, the answer is yes. Unless he's married and you're a resident, no. I mean, there's a lot we need to know still.
There's a lot of missing
But generally, yes, you can file for your children. Generally, the answer is yes.
Charmaine asks, filing for a tax ID, is it okay for them to request the original passport instead of a photocopy?
Generally, no.
That seems weird.
Yes.
Wayne asks, if someone is married in Jamaica and they come to the States and then don't go back to Jamaica. Oh, sorry.
Say that again.
Wayne says, if someone is married in Jamaica, comes to the States, and then they don't go back to Jamaica, can they do their divorce from the States, even though the divorce would be in Jamaica? That's a Jamaican divorce law question, I think.
Yeah, I could tell you in New York State, if you're in New York for more than 2 years, you can do a divorce in New York. Okay, I don't know what Jamaican law is.
Ravine says, if you come to America on a green... Oh, sorry. Ravine asked it twice.
Okay.
Kanisha says, if you have a violation on your record, can you still do your citizenship?
Yes, but you may be denied for bad moral character. Depends on what the violation is and when it happened.
Nadine says, what's a 212C waiver?
It's a waiver to overcome some criminal conviction that happened prior to April 24th, 1996.
Karen says, if you're a citizen and want to travel, but you don't have your American passport yet, can you travel on your original country's passport to go home? And then when you come back, can you show your citizenship certificate to get back in the U.S.?
No.
Got to wait for the American passport?
Yeah, yep. And by the way, you can expedite it. You just got to pay for it.
You want me to keep going? They're still rolling in.
They're rolling in? Jill, what do you want to do? It's up to Jill. Up to Jill.
Jill's a shot caller.
Jill just spoke to the groundhog. She said the groundhog says go for it.
Go for it. We're going for it, family.
You can go for it. All right.
Carol asks, my son came from England and was married to a U.S. citizen, but after he got his first set of papers, they were separated and he went to live with another woman. Then somehow ICE came to his house and found him with his new girlfriend. So after waiting for 2 years, they sent him a deportation letter. But he already went back to England before the deportation order even came in. Can he go ahead and come back to America without having a problem now?
No, he's been ordered deported.
Remarried.
No, he's been ordered deported. He needs to have a consultation. He's going to need to go to the U.S. Embassy. And he's got a whole bunch of issues because in the system, he's deported. They don't know he left.
Pat says, I've been deported since 1998 and haven't been allowed a visa. How do I get a waiver to just visit the U.S.? And can you assist me?
Depends what you were deported for and why you're coming.
Carol has a very sweet message. She says, I've been listening to you for 2 days now. I like you so much that I'm going to recommend all of my friends to you that need help.
Thank you. See, I'm
it
likable.
Doesn't take much.
Some people like me, Groundhog. Groundhog didn't like me today, but some people like me, Groundhog. Okay.
Rochelle says, can you apply for citizenship if you filed your taxes separately from your husband of 11 years?
Can you file for your citizenship if you have yes, because you're basing your citizenship on a green card for 5 years. You're not basing it on bona fide marriage to your husband after 3 years. So how you do your taxes is irrelevant at this point.
Ainsworth says, can a grandfather file for a grandson?
No.
Marcia says, is it possible to file for your sister?
If you're a citizen.
And I'm assuming her sister, not your sister.
Yes. If you're a citizen, yes.
I think, let's see here. Grace with the who had the nieces and nephews in Africa says, what can she do to bring them here now that they're adults, even though she never legally adopted them?
I don't know. She would need to have a consultation. That question is, how do I get somebody a green card? We would need to go through a lot.
Daphne says, my mom married in 1999 and I got my citizenship in 2017. You said I can go ahead and file for her. Does her husband have to sign any documents?
No, but if you want to file for the husband, when did she marry the husband? Did the husband, do you want the husband too, or you just want mom? If you just want mom, who cares about the husband? Okay, all right. So if she wants the husband, it really comes down to how old was the U.S. citizen daughter when mom married the husband. If the U.S. citizen daughter was under the age of 18 when mom married the husband, then the daughter would file one I-130 for mom and a separate I-130 for the husband. You love the I-130 form. Whenever Kim now, who's no immigration lawyer, okay, she always makes a joke, you know, whenever like someone asks her an immigration question, she always goes, it's obviously the I-130 form.
It's obvious. An I-130.
It's obvious an I-130, yes.
You're either doing an adjustment of status or an I-130.
Right.
Can't fool me. Nadine, and actually...
Wait. Daphne just said she just wants mom.
Oh, she just wants mom?
I'm sure, yes. So then who cares about the husband? The husband has to sign nothing. Don't worry about
it. Leave the husband behind.
Yes.
Nadine asks, if you have a 212C waiver, can you file for your citizenship?
Depends on what the conviction was for. You have a 212C waiver because at some point you had a conviction. If you have an aggravated felony after November 17th, 1990, you're barred from becoming a citizen, although you have a 212C waiver and you have a green card. If you don't have an aggravated felony or the aggravated felony is prior to November 17th, 1990, file the citizenship.
Hayden says, I filed for my parents. They got through.
We're going to do three last questions. 3 more questions.
3 last questions.
3 last
okay.
questions.
Hayden says, I filed for my parents. They got through. Can they file to get the money that I spent on the paperwork?
No, you don't get your refund money back, especially if they got through.
Marcia
You paid
says,
for the benefit. They got the benefit, right? I mean.
Right, they got,
Yeah.
right. But I'm assuming even if you're denied, you also don't get your money back, right?
Correct.
Is that true?
Welcome to America. Correct.
Well, I was just about to say, bureaucracy at its finest.
That's right.
Marcia says, about how long does it take to file for a sibling?
14 to 17 years.
Pat says, I was deported for a credit card crime and did 3 years time and then sent back. They still have a warrant on me. How can you help?
Warrant for what? They deported you or you just left? And who cares if they have a warrant? You're in another country now. Unless you want to come back. Unless the question is you want to come back. If you want to come back, then you have warrants out for your arrest. You're an aggravated felon, credit card fraud, jail for 3 years. You got lots of issues. How can I help? You got to start with a consultation. I don't know where we're going from there. We got to figure out what's going on with you.
I want to squeeze in one last one.
Okay.
Kenny says, my mom had an I-130 approved for her daughter. Unfortunately, her daughter passed away before immigrating, but she had 2 kids. Can mom now just pick it up for the 2 kids?
No, but mom can do an orphan petition for the 2 kids if they are under 16. That's what needs to happen. All right, Kim, thank you. Great job as always. Everybody, thank you for watching.